Hey, what's going on, everybody? Darwin here again, and I wanted to make this quick video just to be able to go over one of the most common questions that I get asked, which is, which are the apps that I need to be able to have downloaded in my store. Okay, so what I am going to show you is a store that is not currently active at the moment, and it hasn't been, I would say, for the past close to 60 days. But it is a store that obviously I'm still paying for the subscription on a monthly basis. Because this is like one of those grandfather stores that I pay $13 a month, so I don't plan on shutting it off anytime soon. But these apps are still currently on the shop and are still being charged monthly. So just to kind of give you an idea. Now I'm going to be covering these really quickly, but more so than anything, I'm going to be focusing on one that I think is going to provide tremendous value, which I think all of these do, by the way. But this is one that I'm going to focus on, and I think I'll make future videos on the setup of the other apps that I'm going to talk about today. So one of the first ones is Ali Reviews. If you don't know, reviews are very, very important to be on your shop. This application makes it very, very easy for you to be able to import reviews from AliExpress into your shop for whatever product is that you may need, just using a URL. So Ali Reviews is crucial. Facebook app, this is one that's required for you to have set up. Facebook Messenger. So if you go to the actual store, there'll be a little chat option that will allow you to speak to a representative, which I think is very important. Frequently bought together. This is used for bundling products. When somebody is on your product page, they'll be able to see the product that you're obviously advertising for, and you'll be able to create these particular bundles and obviously, create a discount around them. So I find this app to be very, very useful and helpful, but this has its own different setup as well. Of course, Inspire Dropshipping, Omega TikTok Pixel. So this is when I use or when I run, TikTok ads. You are going to need an app to be able to connect the pixel to it. Shopify email is pretty standard. SMS Marketing and Cart Recovery, which is going to be the one that we talk in some detail over the course of the next few minutes, which this pretty much allows you to bring back customers that were going through the checkout process, but didn't make the purchase. And that happens for a number of reasons. Okay. So we'll talk about this. And Tiny IMG SEO. This pretty much compresses your images, which just makes your website faster. So if you don't know, your loading speed is very crucial. Okay, people don't want to wait around for your website to be able to load, and your website can become slower depending on the total of apps that you have installed. That's one reason, depending on the type of images that you used, if you're doing a lot of screenshots, things of that sort. So there's a lot of reasons as to why your website could be slow. So I use this app to be able to compress all of my images and make sure that my website speed is what I am looking for. Okay, so these right here are the apps that I need. And Ali Reviews is paid. Frequently Bought Together is paid. Inspire Dropshipping is paid. I pay for my own app, believe it or not. This one that I use is actually free. SMS Marketing is paid, and Tiny IMG is paid. So you can see that they can definitely start to add up. Okay. Now, of course, all of these apps provide tremendous value. If not, I would not be using them or having them active, even though my shop or this particular shop hasn't been up in close to 2 months. So let's talk about SMS Marketing and Cart Recovery. So what this does, and I was, touched on earlier, is that if somebody is, going through the checkout process, they've entered their phone number and everything that, is required in the order form for them to complete the purchase. They are at the checkout stage, but for whatever reason, they don't buy. And that happens pretty often. Okay. So there's obviously a number of reasons why. Maybe they're hesitant. Okay. Maybe they got distracted. Something came up and they were in the process of about to buy, and then they didn't, and then they completely forget about the order. What this does is that it enables you to be able to create certain sequences or certain flows that brings the customer back to your checkout page to complete the order. Okay. Now the pricing for this is, I believe you get the first 30 text messages for free. Okay. So 30 text messages you get for absolutely free when you set up. And after that, you have to buy different packages. Now, the minimum package that you can buy is $30. Okay. But it consumes, pretty much how it works is that, it consumes based on text messages sent. So if I am not mistaken, it has a price point of, let me see one second, I believe 3 cents for every message that you send out. And you'll be able to come here to the country price point and see how much they actually charge you. Okay. So where is the Filipinas? Okay, for whatever reason, we are not listed here, so that's a little weird. But it's pretty much 3 cents. All right, it is 3 cents that they charge you, and I can probably see that on the history here. One second. Okay, so 28. So yeah, it's about 3 cents that they do charge you for every message that gets sent out. Okay, so that is important to note. So the $30, it's not on a monthly basis by any stretch of the imagination, right? So just to clear that up, it is based on the consumption in messages that get sent out. Now, if you are running through $30, on a weekly basis, that's a great thing to have. That means you're getting a ton of customers. Well, it could be looked at as a great thing and maybe a bad thing. Maybe there's something wrong with your checkout process. But generally, what that means is that you're getting a ton of customers in. So having these $30 be paid on a monthly, bi-weekly basis is really not going to, hurt your pocket, because this system or this app pays for itself, 10 times over. So it is worth it in so many different ways. Again, you want to bring that customer back because they've already shown interest. They've already filled out the form. Now it's just getting them to buy. So you're going to be able to enter your phone number here, which I will blur out so you guys do not call my staff. And in the notification tab, you'll be able to select who gets notified when orders get created. If an order gets created, do you notify the customer? Do you notify the admin, which is yourself? I personally don't select any of these because I do not want to spend money on sending a notification when somebody creates an order or makes an order, because Shopify already does that. Right. So I do not want to be redundant with this. And obviously, I don't want to send myself any type of messages because that's just a waste of money. I get notified when there's an order as well. So you can be able to set this up to whatever your liking is. I just recommend that you leave all of this blank. Let Shopify's messages, which are free, do that job for you. The only purpose of this should be for recovering people that already checked out, not when people fulfilled their orders or created an order. All of this. Inspire also does some of this via emails and things of that sort. So you do not have to worry about this. All right. The only thing that you're really going to focus on, and if I go to recharge here, I'll be able to show you really quickly. You'll be able to see the promotions that we get. Okay, there's $30. That's the minimum. 60, 90, whatever the case is really up to you. But 30 is the minimum that you can spend. And for a newbie, that will typically last you anywhere from a month and a half to 2 months. So you can pretty much look at $15 monthly to start off, unless you start doing really, really well. But again, you're not going to be bothered by this. So here you'll be able to see a bunch of different tabs. The one that we're going to focus on is called templates. You'll be able to see the type of templates that a customer gets when they create, cancel, so on and so forth. Again, because you left all of this blank, these templates are not going to mean anything unless you select it. Then at that point you can be able to customize the templates that you send out to the customer. Right. So we're gonna actually go to abandoned cart recovery. And here is where you're going to be able to see that you can set up 3 messages, okay? Or up to 3 messages. And you can determine if you only want to send 1, if you want to send 2, or if you want to send 3. I maximize all 3 messages. And here is pretty much the custom. I don't really change much of this, to be frank with you, unless it's the last one. But here you'll be able to see, the type of messages that they get after 1 hour. Okay, so obviously you're going to be notifying the customer. This is going to be blurred out, but this will be your sender ID, which allows you to be you can change what the customer sees when they get the text messages, right? Because if not, it's going to show up as Shipway, which is the sender, but you want it to be able to show up your shop, right? Meaning if you're, Shop Pinoy, then at that point, that's pretty much going to be the name on the text messages. They do limit you to some characters, so do, be mindful of that, but at least they'll be able to see who the person is that's sending the message. You can select here, who gets notified? Do you want just the customer to be notified, or do you want yourself as well to be notified? Again, that's a waste of money. Of course, you don't want to notify yourself. You want to just notify the customer. And then here, you'll be able to, I guess, select the timing. Do you want the person to be reached out an hour after? Do you want the person to be reached out 30 minutes, 6 hours, 10 hours, 24 hours? I typically leave it to the recommended of 1 hour, but you will need to be able to, I guess, monitor and see the effectiveness of each and make adjustments as necessary. So after an hour, they're going to be shot with this. Your shopping cart at, Shop Pinoy has been reserved and is waiting for your return. To complete the purchase, click the link, right? So this is going to be the link. You have to do absolutely nothing here, okay? The system automatically does this for you. So when they click this link, it's automatically going to bring them back to the checkout form that they left before. So they don't have to go to your website and go through the whole process. It's going to automatically bring them there. Okay, so very cool, very neat. You have to do absolutely nothing on this regard. Okay, and personally, I will probably just leave this template as it is. Now, do bear in mind that here you'll be able to see if you want to customize this and edit this a bit more. You can do so, but if you exceed a certain number of characters, right, then you get charged 2 text messages for it. So do keep that in mind. Okay, I obviously like to make sure that everything falls within 1 SMS unit per message. This one, it appears that I have it as 2, and maybe I did some adjustments to it, but what I have here is items you've added on your cart are almost sold out. Hurry, don't let these deals run away. And what I could do is I can probably just do this, right? Don't let these deals run away. Right now it's converted into 1 unit, which I think is probably ideal. Okay, and then here again, it's going to obviously tell them the checkout, and here it's now going to give them the store name, just in case they're wondering, like, who the hell are these people, right? And you may want to put that on your first template. It's really up to your choosing. I just like to leave it like this. And again, this one is set to be sent after 10 hours. Okay, after 10 hours of them going through the checkout process. Okay, you can change this, of course. One important thing that you have to make sure you do is you have to make sure that it's enabled. Okay, it's naturally is, or I guess the default setting is going to be disabled. You're going to have to manually come here and enable each of these flows. All right, and then the last one is when you are going to be able to offer them a discount. Okay, so complete your checkout now and get 15% discount using code XYZ. So you obviously know how to do this. Go to your discounts here, create a discount and enter it here. That way they can copy this, and on the checkout form, which all they have to do is click here, they'll be able to enter that discount code, that is your last resort to try to get them to buy, because obviously the last 2 messages have not worked. So you want to give them a discount code on the last message to try to be that, maybe hopefully be enticing enough for them to make the purchase. All right, pretty straightforward. Now, do bear in mind that after they make the purchase, it automatically removes them from the flow, so it's not going to send them any additional messages. So if they purchase during the first follow-up message, the second and third become non-existent. They will not be sent out. All right, so again, enable all of these options, and once you save all of them, that will pretty much kick off, and it'll already be active. Now, one thing to note here, if you scroll all the way to the bottom, you are going to be able to see some analytics as to how effective your messages are. And again, this store has not been up, but because of previous traffic, you still see that it's still generating sales, right? And people are still checking out even though ads are not running. So over the last 45 days, it's recovered 5 worth 9,000, and here it'll give you a distribution as to when people are making the purchase. Is it on the first follow-up? Is it on the second follow-up? And as you can see, nothing on the third follow-up is reflecting, and you can play around with this to your liking, like what has been the last 7 days, what's been okay, I guess there's nothing, what's been the last so on and so forth dates. Is really up to your choosing at that point. Now, one thing to make sure you do is that when you use the app, that you select the right one. So maybe I should have covered that at the beginning. SMS Bump, because people do get confused with the actual app. It is going to be Let me show you which one. SMS by Shipway, SMS. Let me see. Where is it? Hold on. SMS. It is by the developer Shipway. So you just got to make sure that you select. Here it is. This is going to be the one that you go for. SMS Marketing and Cart Recovery by Shipway. Keep in mind, there's going to be a bunch of options, but this is the one that we just went over. So again, if you like it, it is free to add. You get 30 free text messages on the onset to be able to start. And then after that, you are going to have to pay the $30 for these messages to be continuously sent. But again, very useful, very helpful app. Highly recommend that you guys use it. Look at the settings, customize it to your liking, review the data after you've gathered enough to be able to make decisions. You know, should I change it to maybe sending after 10 hours, maybe 6 hours? Should I change it? Maybe adding a discount on the second message, right? So the data is going to tell you everything, everything that you need. You got to make sure that you're looking at it. But this is what I wanted to focus on this video, which is number one, to show you the apps that I currently use. Number two, kind of touch on one that I believe is crucial in generating new revenue and making sure that you are recovering those customers that you have already paid for. I will make additional videos on the Ali reviews and some of the other apps just to kind of give you a general idea as to how to navigate them. But I wanted to make this immediately so you guys can download the app, get started. It is free. There's no affiliate to this, so I'm not paid to promote them. Just figured it would provide you guys a lot of value. So if it has, make sure that you give us a like, a subscribe on this video, because it is going to be posted on our YouTube channel and on the Inspire private group. Hopefully you guys have a blessed rest of your day, and I will speak to you all very soon. Bye-bye.